Hello, beautiful souls. I am here because I just finished a session with someone and things come up in these sessions, and often I make notes and say I'm going to do a video about it and share things that come up that I feel are really valuable to share. And then the energy of it passes over time. And so right now I just finished up this session and something came forward about healing that as it was coming through, it was really quite interesting for me and for her as well. And so I thought I would share it with you all because it's related to the huge shift that we're in right now and our point of view about everything that the past has showed us and our culture has shown us. It's all changing now. It's all wanting to be just released and let go. And this person, we were at the end of her session and she's a beautiful soul full of light. And she was talking to just witnessing things that she sees in the outside world and just offering it healing in the witness of it. So she may be standing in line somewhere and read a headline and think that she would just offer that healing. Little examples like that she was using about how she might be able to just make things better in the world and bring more of her light into the world. And as she was saying it, it was coming through very clearly for me, the words for her to witness with compassion as opposed to offering healing. And I wanted to interrupt her. So I just wrote down some notes so I wouldn't forget to say that. So as I was sharing this with her, that instead of thinking about healing, to witness with compassion, we started talking about it. And what came through is that when we think there's something to heal, that is a judgment. So that thought that there is something to heal is coming from the 3D world of duality, where we are moving into this higher frequency of unity consciousness. And in this frequency of unity consciousness, this is what was revealed, that healing is really a judgment, because if we didn't have a judgment around it, there would be nothing to heal. So the very thought that there's something that needs to be healed in itself is a judgment. And if we are simply accepting everything that is, and just, it's the way of being in this new energy in a way is about not having so much opinions about things and social attachment to things, but simply witnessing with compassion. So we're not living with indifference. We still have compassion, but we are witnessing because there's nothing to fix. It is simply something that's showed up on the outside world. It's like driving and you get a flat tire. It's just having a flat tire. The only thing aside from that we make of it is what we put onto it. But if we can start living life just saying, oh, well, that simply was that, and that's just the way it is. It's the emotion that we give to things that can create a lot of the turmoil and set other energy frequencies pummeling out into the world that then get picked up in different ways by different people. So this viewing with compassion, witnessing with compassion, is a very centered state of being. It's just like, I'm fully solid in my center, and it's like, oh, I see that someone is having that experience, and I don't have any judgment about whether it's good or bad. I'm just in a state of internal love and grace, which is compassion, seeing this thing on the outside and not giving it, not feeding it with any energy, good or bad, but simply a state of unity because I'm unified within myself. And so instead of wanting to heal the world, we really start by doing that within ourselves and getting ourselves to this place where we can stand in a place of being so centered within ourselves that we're not knocked about by what's happening in the outside world. And we can be a witness without becoming involved in it. And then when we get ourselves to that space, we can witness with compassion, free of judgment, which then is bringing more grace into the world. We're not feeding any frantic energy that's happening, and we're not feeding everything that's rising to the surface at this time. It's rising up simply to be witnessed and then dissolve in that. But many people, when they see it, then there's emotional connection to it. And so it's harder for it to dissolve because it's being fed more energy from our own emotional projection onto it. So as we're in this time that is really challenging because so much is coming to the surface, and also in this session with this beautiful soul, they were saying that things are rising up, whether they're visible or not. A part of our field is tuning into it. So not only everything that we're seeing on the outside world, and some of us connect with that much more than others. I don't watch the news. I don't even listen to the news anymore. I used to listen to it on the radio. I don't even do that anymore. So some of us are more in that energy than others. But they said that even if we're not consciously paying attention to that, there's a part of our energy field that is picking up on all this dark energy that's rising to the surface, all this old energy that needs to come up and just be witnessed and dissolved. Part of us is tuning into it, whether aware of it or not. So the more we can come back into this state of centeredness within ourselves, and a big part of that is, for one thing, not to be allowing ourselves to become engaged in what's happening for everyone else, to stay more in our own world and then in our own community until we can witness the outside world without being thrown off balance or without become emotionally attached to what's going on there. Until that time, it's really best for us to just stay within ourselves and just keep working within ourselves and recognizing the parts of the personality that want to attach to all of that, and the parts of the personality that are so connected to the culture, which is the old world that we're leaving. There's a new culture that's going to be arising more and more, this culture of love and grace and acceptance and appreciation, but we don't quite see it there yet. And so the parts of our personality that we've grown up with were evolved from the denser frequencies. And so there's a lot of purging within the self right now that wants to happen, of letting go of those old aspects of our personality. For me, it's been bringing up sadness this week, and I've had tears and felt vulnerable as these old parts of my personality are just rising up and leaving. It's yesterday it was very much a sense of not belonging, just not feeling like I belong anywhere, not knowing where I belong, because the world hasn't been really who I am, and I'm not yet seeing it as who I am. So all of this is part of this purging to be released within ourselves and, of course, within the world. So the best place to be until we have that ability to witness with compassion, and that's it, is within ourselves, doing our own internal processing. So I just wanted to share that today while it was very much alive from this session. And thanks to this client, I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this experience with others. And I will just bring through some light language now to help clear anything, or just help us, I won't say clear, integrate all that we need in order to be able to witness with compassion. Hiwashki yashkana matnawa e ishkanai tiktaka atwatna michkana na ichkana ha. Wachea kai ishkana atma yashkana maktaka e ana shi. Yanai oish. Iwakshiashkana atma e ishkanai tiktaka atwatna. Machikwa atwa e ishkanai taki ashkana atma yashkana iashkana matakawa e ishkanai tiktaka ashkana yashkana matawa e. Just releasing anything that is less than that right now. Huachkia ishkana matawa e ishkanai. Ishakna ishkama atwa nachkanai. Takte tiktaka atwa yashkana miyashkana atwatna. Machikai atwa e ishkanai tiktaka atwa ishkana matwa e ana. Maktiktaka alawa e ishkanai tikichna atmatna. So what they're sharing with me now is that before we get to the place where we can witness with compassion, we need to find the ground underneath us, and everything's unstable underneath us right now. So until we found our new ground underneath us, which they're telling me is very much connected to nature, very much grounded into the earth, anyone who's still in the stage where the ground underneath us is very unsettled, then it's important to wait till we've found that new ground underneath us before we give too much thought to this piece about witnessing with compassion. It's like we don't want to jump ahead of where we are, and there's no race to get there. There's no hierarchy of where we are in this. It's perfect and right for everyone. So comparison really is very unhealthy. It's all about us as individuals. So they just want us to know that the first step is to, as this ground underneath us begins to dissolve, until you're feeling grounded into the earth again and like you found your ground again, it's really important not to put too much energy into being in this state of witnessing with compassion. We don't want it to come out as a way where we're judging ourselves for not being there yet, because acceptance of the self is the most important. And we're going through so much at this time that acceptance of who we are and exactly where we are in this whole journey is really important, because we have to love ourselves first in order to get into this place of moving into this higher frequency and finding our way outside of all of this that is dissolving right now. It's all about coming back to the love that's always been there, but covered up with so much debris from the way the world has been. So just know that loving yourself first and really being compassionate with yourself is very important as we're going through this journey. And a lot of people who carry a victim frequency want to save the world and want to change the world before they look at themselves, because it's easier to try to fix the outside than going to the inside. So have compassion for yourself. And if you have that mindset, really recognize that the first step is doing this work for yourself. Because it's only when we're whole and complete within ourselves that we can project that energy into the world and offer that centered grace to others. So very important to be kind and compassionate and just know where we are in this process and be present with that and know that this new ground is in nature. It's connected to the earth. Okay, I'll see if there's anything else that they want to offer in the light language here. Wachki ashkani iatma ashkani atwa e ishkanai tiktika atwatna. Machikwa atwa e ishkanai o tiktika atwatni. Machia wa ashkani atwa e ishkanai tiktika atwatna. Machikwa atwa e ashkani ashkana. Machikwa ashkani I tiktika atna. Machia wa ashkani atmana. Wate te kohi kai ishkana atwatna. Wate te kohi hai ishkane. Machikwa atwa I ishkana taktiki I itwa. Yashkani atwa E ishkanai. Taktik taka atwatna. Machakwe I ishkanai. Taktik taka ai shina. Miachkia wa ashkani 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 atwa. Chika. So that last piece felt very strong about the importance of trusting our own intuition, our own self. That's so important right now. So even though you're listening to me and getting this guidance, you know, the greatest thing would be that you would just get this within yourself, and it is within us all. So even when we listen to things, to check inside and really make sure it's our truth, and make sure that the way we're moving forward is our truth, our way, and applying that to everything. That felt really important, that people not be misguided. So everything we hear, you know, if it's something we tune into and it feels right for us, because if it doesn't, like immediately just stop. And if it does feel right after you've heard it, just go inside and make sure it really is true for you. Or maybe there's pieces of it that are true for you and other pieces that aren't. That's what I really saw, is that, you know, for some people, some of this is right, but other parts of it really aren't the right direction for them. And so they should honor themselves and go in the direction that is best for them. So that's probably has the greatest energy of what they want us to know through this whole video that I've just shared here. So please know that, to come more and more to using your own discernment, finding your truth within yourself, and trusting that, learning how to trust that. And the more we give merit to it, the more it knows that we're paying attention, so it will come in stronger and stronger. Okay, sending, as always, so much love to you all. It's such a blessing to be here together, to be growing and expanding in this incredible time together. And remember to be kind to yourself, and have compassion to others who maybe are responding differently than you are, because we are always doing the best we can, each and every one of us. So much love to you all. Bye-bye.